Konnichiwa, I'm John Hornick. Welcome to my Japanese Faves series where we'll cover every major type of Japanese food. This lesson is Japanese-style Kalbi beef short ribs 1. Kalbi beef short ribs is a Korean dish that's very popular in Japan. Kalbi ribs are flanken cut, which means that the ribs are cut across the bones, not parallel to them. This Kalbi is inspired by Ono's and Salat's great cookbook, The Japanese Grill. But I marinate the ribs much longer, and I base the marinade on my Yakiniku sauce, which literally means grilled meat sauce in Japanese. I cover Yakiniku sauce in my Demystifying Japanese Shoyu-Based Sauces lesson. I also garnish with ingredients that Ono and Salat used in their marinade. So let's start cooking. All right, now we're going to make the marinade for the Japanese-style Kalbi short ribs. So we're going to add in the chopped shallots. And the pureed prepared garlic, about the amount that I gave in the description. I think it was a tablespoon. You could use more. You can never have too much garlic, as I always say. We're going to add some sesame oil. I think the description calls for about 2 teaspoons. But again, if you like the sesame flavor, you could use more of that. Then we're going to use the Yakiniku sauce, which I already prepared, okay? If you need to prepare it right now, I gave you the ingredients in the description. But I always keep some prepared in advance. And then about a teaspoon of either Tobanjan, this is Tobanjan, Japanese chili paste. Or you can use Korean Gochujang. So now we're going to puree that. Okay, there we go. It won't take too long to puree. Now someone asked a question, do you really need to puree it? Well, it's almost all liquid anyway, except for those shallots. And the answer is no, you don't have to puree it. You could just mix it all together, especially if you have minced those shallots really finely. But I like to puree it because it blends the flavors better. It releases the flavor from those shallots into the rest of the sauce and makes a nice smooth marinade. All right, now let's marinate the ribs. Now these are the flanken cut ribs. They're about, I'd say, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch thick. We're going to put them into a Ziploc bag. Now we're going to add the marinade to the bag. And then we're going to take the bag off of the, I use this Jokari bag filler, which is a great invention, and but you don't need to use that. And then I want to try to get as much air out of the bag as possible. Why? It just allows the marinade to get to the meat better, okay? And then we're going to put it into a baking pan. Why? In case the bag leaks. And then we're going to marinate that at least 6 hours. I'm going to marinate it overnight, okay? And I'm going to turn it 3 or 4 times between now and the time that I cook the ribs. So into the fridge, marinate overnight. All right, now our ribs have been marinating overnight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut them into smaller pieces to make them more manageable when we grill them, okay? And you're going to have to just work your way around the bone. It's kind of hard to see where the bones are because of the marinade that's still on there. And then after we cut them, we're going to season them. So we're going to lay them out. By the way, I'm not showing you all the meat here. I'm not doing it all on camera, okay? I'm going to give them a little salt. Since they're thin, I'm only going to do the seasoning on one side. Okay, and some freshly ground black pepper. And you know I like to pat it in. Okay, we are ready to grill. Okay, it's time to grill the Japanese style Kalbi short ribs, beef short ribs. And you could use a charcoal grill or gas grill or Binchotan charcoal with a Japanese konro. That's what I'm using tonight. Okay, so we're gonna lay the pieces of short rib, this flanken cut short rib, onto the grill, and we're going to tend them. And it should take about 3 or 4 minutes per side, but kind of depends on how much you have to move them around and how much charcoal you're using. Okay, so the ribs have been going for about a minute. We're going to turn them over, and I'm probably going to turn them 3 or 4 times while we're cooking them. We want them to be brown and kind of crispy. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of crispiness here. And you're going to do them in batches. Keep them warm between your batches. I have a separate video, by the way, on using binchotan charcoal and a conro. The binchotan charcoal itself doesn't put out much smoke. The smoke you see, though, is fat from the ribs falling down and smoking on the charcoal. Okay, our first batch is looking nice and brown and kind of crispy in kind of the fattier places. We're going to take them off the grill. We're going to keep them warm until we are ready to serve. And we're going to put the next batch on the grill. But I'm not going to show you cooking all of the batches, okay? I decided to show you part of the second batch because they just look so good. I think the charcoal has been heating up as we've been cooking here, and so we're getting more brown and more crispiness than we got on the first batch. So I'm actually going to take that first batch, put it back on there for a little bit, and get a little bit more crispiness after I've done all the batches. Okay, I've plated up some of the Japanese style Kalbi beef short ribs here. We're just going to garnish with a little bit of Tuxedo sesame seeds, which are black and white sesame seeds. And, you know, you could also garnish with something green if you want, some chopped scallions or some chopped chives. And there we have it. That is Japanese style Kalbi beef short ribs, flanken cut. You can see photos of the final dish at my Instagram, which is @Chef's Apprentice, Cook Like a Pro. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.